All right, good morning, boys and girls. It's Miss Camacho here. So today we are on lesson 5-2. Our lesson is 2.2, make line plots. I can display data in a line plot. Okay, so again, we're on lesson 2.2, make line plots. I can display data in a line plot. Okay. Based off your information yesterday, I see a lot of people are struggling with line plots. So I figured I'm going to give you the lesson opposed to YouTube or another video. Even though I think they're really helpful for most lessons, this might need a little more explaining. All right. So we remember from yesterday, if we go back to yesterday's lesson, that what are line plots? A line plot is a way to display data along a number line. They are also called dot plots. Characteristics of a line plot. They have titles. They include a key so you know what each dot or X represents. And you have to make sure to label the number line so you know what you are measuring. So in today's solve and share, I wrote it like this because I harder with the other way because we're actually plotting information. I'm going to read my solve and share question, and then I'm going to go through my chart that I have here and this tally graph right here, and I'm going to explain to you what this is. Okay. Fifth grade class recorded the height of each student. How could you organize their data? Make a dot plot to solve this problem. Okay. So again, fifth grade class recorded the height of each student. So bad at these lines. Try this again. Okay. How could you organize the data to make a line plot to solve this problem? Okay. So we have our chart which says height of students in grade 5 to the nearest half inch. We have several numbers listed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 measurements to the nearest half inch that were recorded for the heights of students in grade 5. So I'm going to do my creative pen and use, let's use my stars on small thickness. Oh boy, maybe a little bigger. There we go. All right, so this right here is called a tally chart. That did not look like that, the way I wanted it to look. Okay, what this did here was take the information that was in my chart and it listed it by value. A tally is keeping track of how many times it's occurred, and then it's writing the number. So how often does the value appear in the data set? The frequency. Okay. So I'm going to make an arrow. I'm going to say, how many students are there? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so I'm going to write, there are 20 students. Why did I write this here? I wrote this here because I want to be able to see how many students there are total. So when I plot my data, it matches. What this tally chart does is it counts. So here we have 55. That's a measurement to the nearest half inch. They tallied one time. Then for 52, tallied once. 50 and a half inch, tallied once. Each time we went through to tally my data, you should cross that number off. So I'm not going to cross it off because I want you to see the information. If we were in school, I would be crossing it off. So each number is represented here by a tally mark. So each tally represents students, right? Because we're measuring students. So you have 2 students that are 50 inches. You have 6 students that are 50.5 inches. You have 2 students that are 52 inches. 6 students that are 55 inches. 2 students that are 58.5 inches, and 2 students that are 60 inches. Now, if you go back to our question, our solve and share, how could you organize the data? Make a dot plot. This is one way that we organized our data to help us plot our information. Now, look at the numbers we have listed here. It's 50 to 60, okay? We need to take those values and add them here. When I look here, I see blank. I don't see any titles. I don't see any keys. I don't see anything of that nature. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy tools. I'm going to give this a title. Height of students in grade 5. This is my title. There you go. This is how it's being measured. This is how my data is being measured. Now we need to leave some room because we need to give our numbers a spot, right? Because we know we have the value from 50 to 60. I'm going to start with 48 because I want you to see how this gets tracked correctly. Nope. Okay. All right. So now, these are whole numbers on my number line. I'm going to take my tool. I'm going to make my half marks red. Now, why am I doing this, you might ask yourself? Well, some of my measurements are not whole numbers. We have 50.5 and 58.5. So we're going to use a red pen for that. Okay. Here we go. I have a number line, I have wholes and halves. Now remember, each represents a tick mark to what we are plotting. Each star represents one tally mark. I'm gonna two. All right, now we have enough stars. Let's take all these stars. Let's move them over there. Oh boy. Not easy as it looks. Clone. Move. Okay. Now I have enough stars. So let's make my key. 1 star equals 1 student. So we organize this in our tally graph, tally chart. Now we're going to start with the value of 50. How many students were 50 inches? 2. So I'm going to take 50 students. Sorry, guys. I want you to be able to see exactly what I'm doing, but it's not as easy as it looks to write without a pen. Okay. So good. We see that it matches up. Now, we have measurements here from a 5th grade class with the height of each student. We didn't leave any students out. We went back and checked. Now we're going to ask ourselves some questions about the measurements of the students. Let me move this out of the way. Bring this over here. Okay, so I'm going to put a little box around that. Let's see. Great, that's beautiful. It's real beautiful. how many total students' height was recorded? We said 20 students. Now we could say, what was the greatest height of the fifth grade students? 50.5 inches and 55 inches both have 6 students that are that measurement. But that's not what this is asking. It's asking the greatest height. Okay, our greatest height is 60 inches. That is the largest height. Again, height is what's being measured. So 2 students measured that height. The greatest height was 60 inches. 2 students were 60 inches tall. Now, our next question will be, what was the shortest height of the fifth grade students? Now, again, these 4 measurements all have 2, but that's not what's being asked. What's being asked is the shortest height. And the shortest height is 50 inches. 2 students were 50 inches tall. That is how we make a dot plot to solve this problem. We made a tally chart showing the value, the tally, and how often the value appears in the data set here. I don't really like the way this looks. I think it looks sloppy. My stars didn't really work out that great, so I'm going to erase this. Okay, I think that looks better. I think that looks better too. And I'm going to move this like that. I think that looks much better. Okay. Beautiful. I want to make this pretty. Height to the nearest half inch. Maybe we got to make our rectangle a bit larger to fit everything. Okay, much better. There is my chart. There is my dot plot or my line plot. I have my questions that go along with this. As we see, I hate the Smart Notebook water stain. This is for today's lesson. So again, let's go through this. We checked that there are 20 students. We counted and we charted in a tally chart. This was to help us plot data. If we go back and counted, we see that 6 students are 50.5 inches. 6 students are also 55 inches. 50 inches, 52 inches, 58.5, and 60 inches all have 2 students at that total. Our shortest height is 50 inches right here, and our greatest is 60 inches. Don't confuse greatest inch recorded to the most amount recorded. We have to be careful of the wording. So let me match this. I'm gonna underline that, and I hope this helps you. Any questions? Please post on this and enjoy your plotting.